The views expressed are solely those of the speaker and not necessarily those of Paltalk.com, AVM software, or its advertisers.
News Talk is online. News Talk Online is a production of Paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet with more than 4 million unique users. I'm your host, Gary Baumgarten. We're on demand on iTunes and on YouTube, and thanks to our good friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio, we are distributed to cable systems serving an additional 12 million households. Boaz, speaking of CRN Digital Talk Radio, they've started broadcasting their lineup of shows here on Paltalk in the radio and television section. The first show was broadcast today. The host is Mike Horn, the president of CRN Digital Talk Radio. And did you hear what happened to him? Were you listening to the show?
No, not at all, Gary. I was listening to the show, and the only extraordinary thing I heard was that Paltalk was mentioned on their show. But what happened?
He went into a new restaurant slash bar over there in Los Angeles, and the football game was on, the second game, the game between the Green Bay Packers, who were supposed to win, and the New York Giants, and it was 20-20 in overtime. And he was sat down to watch the game at the bar, and the manager kicked everybody out of the restaurant. So they didn't get to see the end of the game.
Yeah,
Can you believe that?
Why did the manager do that?
Because he's an idiot. Because he takes a guy who has a radio show that talks about food and restaurants and entertainment and kicks him out of the restaurant so that he'll go on his nationally syndicated show and tell everybody not to go to that restaurant. Very stupid, wouldn't you say?
Right. He's an idiot.
Idiot. Anyway, Mike Horn is on from 11 to 12 o'clock Monday through Friday in the morning till noontime, New York time, now on Paltalk in the CRN Digital Talk Radio room in the radio TV section. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. Today we are here to talk about the election. What is going on with the Democratic Party? The fight between Obama and Hillary Clinton to see which one is blacker. That's pretty much what's going on the Democratic side. And Rudy Giuliani, who was going strong before this primary season actually officially launched, decided to put all of his eggs in the Florida primary basket. And even though that's been the only place he's been campaigning, even though he's the only candidate up until now to really be campaigning in Florida because he blew off the other elections, the primary elections and caucuses, he's neck and neck there. He doesn't have a huge lead. So maybe Rudy isn't going to be the candidate of the Republican Party. I love this election because there's no way to determine who the heck either party is going to end up nominating, at least not at this stage of the game. And it also means, in my mind, that the big media players who are trying to tell us who we should vote for, and the people in the parties who are trying to tell us who we should vote for are not holding sway. The voters are actually making the decision, at least thus far, and I love it. Well, it's confusing. The whole process is confusing. I mean, we had a South Carolina primary, and now we're going to have another South Carolina primary. I don't get it, but the person who does and who will help us sort all this out is Kelley Beaucar Vlahos. She has spent the last 6 years as a political reporter in Washington, D.C. She reports for FoxNews.com and is a contributor to the Washington-based Homeland Security magazine and the American Conservative magazine. Her current reporting focuses on the 2008 elections and domestic partisan politics, as well as the current war policy, including returning veterans, and how homeland and national security policies affect international relations and civil liberties at home, all subjects that are near and dear to my heart. Kelley, welcome to News Talk Online on Paltalk.com. Boaz, I'm not hearing the guest. I am not hearing the guest, Mr. Boaz. Is Mr. Boaz with us? I don't know. Okay, here's what we do when this happens. We take the calls, and then if you have raised your question and want to come back up when we get the guest back, we'll give you that opportunity. Okay, so let's go to our first caller while we're waiting for Boaz to sort out the technical problems. Mike joining us from New Orleans. Mike, are you aware of who you're going to vote for in the primaries? Are you following this very closely? Have you gotten this figured out? What is going on? Especially what's going on between the Democrats. I mean, what's going on between Obama and the Clintons is just extraordinary.
Yeah, Gary, I'm back in Maryland now. Excuse me. I had my lung scraped out. I'll tell you one thing. I've been following it, and it's not who's blacker. It's who's going to admit the fact that one's father, both father and stepfather, are Muslim. Barack Hussein Obama. How many Democrats are going to actually want to vote for somebody with the middle name of Hussein and somebody who also went to a madrasa school? Not me. Tell you the truth, I don't like Hillary. I kind of wish that Bloomberg get into the race, because I'd vote for him. And with that, you have the mic back to you, Gary, because I got to rest my throat. Thanks.
Yeah, I hear you struggling there, and I'm sure I join the others here in wishing you a speedy recovery. That being said, I got to tell you, I don't particularly care what Obama's religion is, nor do I care what Mitt Romney's religion is, nor do I care what Mike Huckabee's religious beliefs are. What I care about is the job an individual will do if he or she is elected president of the United States. Now, Obama claims to be a Christian, and he goes to a Christian church, and I believe him when he says he is Christian. And the fact that he was raised, at least a part of the time, in Indonesia, and he had a stepfather who was Muslim, and he has a brother or a half-brother still there in Indonesia who is of the Muslim faith, is of zero consequence to me. And I find it appalling that people put such issue on this matter, so much emphasis on this matter, because to me it matters not. What matters is, if he gets elected, what will he do as president of the United States? Kelley is with us now. Kelley Beaucar Vlahos, a political reporter in Washington, D.C. Are you surprised, Kelley, that people are more interested in Obama's alleged religious background than they are about his skin color?
Yeah, I've been listening to talk radio, specifically, I've been listening to shows like Washington Journal. They'll have call-ins, and I've been surprised at the number of people that have called in, and not just on National Washington Journal, but other shows that have alluded to